So fantastic. Let's take a look at global energy commodities as always. Brent and WTI in North America are both up. I guess globally, signs of economic recovery. It seems like the Feds may be looking to cut interest rates in the June round of meetings, which may signal targets on inflation may be getting closer to realization there, but natural gas not buying that, down at the end of trading by 86 basis points, and RBOB gasoline, of course, tracking Brent and WTI up by 1.88%. Let's take a look at other markets. Equities markets around the world. Unfortunately, the Nigeria Stock Exchange ended on a bearish note. That may have had something to do with the CBN's MPR rate hike by 4%. The all-share index closed down at 1.23% at the end of trading on Friday. Market cap now back down below 55 trillion naira. Of course, a lot of investors are searching for yield. Yields are up on bond markets and fixed income in general. We saw what's been happening with treasury bills at 19 plus for the 1 year. So investors looking back now at assets that yield much better than equities. And of course, we're seeing some of the corporate earnings dynamics on the Nigerian Stock Exchange as well, which may be impacting some of the trading volumes there as well. Let's take a look at European equities. Euro Stock 600 did really well, and all the other major indices on the European markets also followed suit. The European Stock Index was up by 66 basis points. London FTSE All-Share Index also up by 78 basis points. So corporate earnings still the major driver here. And of course, a lot of the tech stocks have been doing well around the world. Let's take a look at what's happening in the North American markets. In North America, Dow Jones and the standard S&P 100, as well as the NASDAQ, were all up at the end of trading on Friday evening. The Dow Jones was up by 11 basis points, S&P was up by 33 basis points, and NASDAQ was up by 0.44%. Let's take a look at my top picks for the week on the big screen. Now, the World Bank has told the Zimbabwean government that it needs to move towards a free floating exchange rate. Have we heard that somewhere before? Of course, Zimbabwe abandoned the Zimbabwean dollar in 2009. The Zimbabwean dollar has actually lost its value this year already by 40%. It abandoned the Zimbabwean dollar in 2009 and then brought it back in 2019. So in that 10-year gap, Zimbabwe had been utilizing the US dollar as the main currency of exchange and commerce. Zimbabwe is also facing a situation of low tax collection rates. The World Bank has also told the government that the Zimbabwean Reserve Bank has to cease its quasi-fiscal activities. Seems like many central banks in Africa were struggling with this. And so Zimbabwe is facing another major cash crunch here, with the World Bank telling it needs to float its exchange rate. Surplus cobalt production from DRC and Indonesia, according to market reports, is going to persist till 2028. Of course, the Democratic Republic of Congo accounts for around 70% of global production, and CMOC, the biggest Chinese producer in Africa, has seen production increase by 172%. Now, the impact of that on cobalt prices, as we know, cobalt is a major feeding metal for electric vehicles, aviation, and electronics, is that cobalt prices have halved over the last few years, now down to about $15 per ton. So interesting surplus in the cobalt market there, primarily from DRC and Indonesia, is going to continue for the next 3 years or so. MTN has flagged up a profit slump on the back of Naira devaluation. It has declared a huge amount of losses on its 2023 financials. I think estimated MTN Nigeria PLC lost about 740 billion Naira on the back of Naira devaluation. Having said that, MTN does have about 77 million customers in Nigeria, so this is still a key market for the South African multinational. Let's not forget that. Nigeria apparently detained 2 Binance executives during the week. Binance has been facing major regulatory charges globally. If you recall, last year, Binance had to pay about $4.6 billion in fines to US regulators. Now, the Nigerian CBN governor, Yemi Cardoso, said during the week that about $26 billion had been traded on Binance, 26 billion naira, I beg your pardon, had been traded on Binance from sources that are yet to be identified. So the government here in Nigeria is obviously worried about the impact of the Binance, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, on the value of the naira. So I guess those investigations are going to continue. There's been some pullback on your operations of a Binance website in the Nigerian market. So if you're a Binance user, you may want to check what access you still have if you're based in Nigeria. And finally, Elon Musk is in the news again. He's suing OpenAI and its founder, Sam Altman, because the original vision for which he, as a co-founder, thought OpenAI was set up is not being fulfilled. According to Musk, OpenAI is not meant to be a profit-making entity. It's meant to contribute to humanity and human development. And Elon Musk says that he's filing a lawsuit against OpenAI. OpenAI has not responded. He's also concerned that this new generative AI technology that's coming out is potentially going to rival his XAI platform, which he set up a couple of years back. So interesting times there for Elon Musk and OpenAI and Sam Altman. That's it for my top picks for the week.